and they'll laugh and talk about the movie, and they'll bond, and they'll have fun. And Polly wants what they have. And she doesn't want to be human.
I said I was gonna knock your teeth in. Was I lying or was I telling the truth?
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. It is foggy outside. Not really cold, but it's foggy. How about that? It's supposed to be a warm one today, hopefully not too hot. But I've got the window open 24/7, 365. I've got my door open here right now for circulation, so hopefully my housemates who aren't here right now don't come back while I'm recording. Well, life is life. But it's supposed to be warm today, hopefully not too hot. It was pretty warm inside here yesterday. I closed off everything to circulate the cooler air, and it got really hot inside. And it wasn't as hot as it was outside as it was the day before, so I don't know what the heck happened. But of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool, greatly appreciated. If you like what you hear and see and you haven't subscribed, if you could subscribe, that'd be very, very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome, helping to keep me and my pets alive. Thank you so very much. Without your help, we would be hosed like Christmas monkeys, and that's not a good way to be hosed. If you would like to help me out, become a literally beautiful and awesome person, there are links to the Patreon in the video description. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal link. And if you'd like to help me out without sending any money at all, there's an Amazon wishlist link. And of course, there's also in the video description my post office box address. So if you'd like to send me anything from postcards and keychains to whatever you'd like, that'd be very cool. They would be opened up in video. Yay, front loading of videos over. Excuse me. So yesterday, yes, I started off with therapy, sort of, because also we have, normal tenant problems, and one of them is our garbage disposal has an issue. So my therapy yesterday, it started off regular in-person therapy, but then my vehicle was having problems, and it was just easier for me to not make a 40-mile round trip for an hour therapy, just to do it online. And so we've been doing it online, regular therapy. But I had therapy yesterday, and my therapist was very pleased with a lot of what I had to say, concerned about other parts, but the fact that I walked to the hospital and got the paperwork done, I need to do more. The paperwork, you need to bring in proof of income and all that, and the only thing that I could find was an older thing, and I didn't even know it was an older thing until I got there. So they need a bit more stuff. I need to go to the bank, get some history printouts, take it over there, and then we'll be good. So thumbs up on that. But he was very, very pleased, and I'm still pleased too. Definitely a thumbs up. Past that, it's just been a day. I played Ghost of Tsushima quite a bit yesterday, and that's fun. It is a very good game. I have nothing against the Mongolian people. I do not really dislike anybody. I may dislike governments. I may dislike histories, but nobody's country has a good history. But as much as I have no problems with the Mongolian people, when I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, it's like I am just going through this and calling them Mongol dogs. And I'm not killing people. I'm killing Mongols. And that's fine for the time, especially with, generally how racist everybody was a lot back in time and still right now. Baked into our DNA, it would appear. But while, I have nothing against the Mongolian people, when you're playing as a defender against invaders, it's hard not to feel aggressive towards the attackers. So, it's fun. I enjoy it. And if anybody has a PlayStation 4, or I guess 5 if they're backwards compatible, I heartily recommend Ghost of Tsushima. Definitely a good game. I'm approaching one of the choke points that I had before, where I did not have the skill to make it through a boss battle. So I stopped playing for like 2 years. But now I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through that choke point. I gotta continue playing Grim Dawn, and I'm starting other things up as well because, hey, I've got severe ADHD. So, but it's a good game and you should play it if you have a PlayStation 4. I'm just tugging on my shirt like crazy. It's driving me nuts. But that's just the way I am. Past that, I'm doing okay. I'm like 190 pounds right now, and that's not bad. That's not a bad weight at all. I do not mind being 190. I'd like to be closer to maybe 180, so I'm going to keep working on that. Not much lower than that, because while all of the charts say I should be like 166 pounds, when I'm at 166 pounds, I look skeletal and gaunt. I don't look healthy. So yeah, about 180 is a pretty good weight, so thumbs up on that. Past that, I've just been doing a lot of thinking, following where my subconscious is leading me on the whole setting that I'm working on. Because remember, I can't push. I've tried pushing my creativity, my whole life, and it just has not worked. It's just been a rough house of cards that at the slightest bump falls apart. These past couple, I guess it's, I don't know, year, 2 years? I don't know how long I've been working on this particular setting, but it has been, I just push it along and then it chews on stuff through my subconscious and I follow it and it's been awesome. The stuff holds together, and I've been trying to make the setting as robust as possible so I can bounce the characters off it without having to worry about parts of it collapsing because I didn't think that part through, and now I've got to go, oh my god, that's a part that breaks the story. So I'm working on it in that fashion, as well as if I can never push through my ADHD, if I never have medications that can make it so I can actually physically type this stuff out. I'm still working on trying to get together auditory type story readings of the stuff so I don't have to type it, but even if I can never do that, it doesn't matter if I don't sell it or anything like that, as long as it brings me pleasure. As long as you enjoy coming along with me on the journey, that's all that matters. You do not have to monetize your passions. I get an incredible amount of pleasure and happiness out of making up this setting. It doesn't matter the part of the pleasure and happiness is, you know, how many people are killed and eaten on a daily basis on the setting. I mean, the contents of the setting, no matter what your setting may be, if you like to do the same, it's all right, whatever the setting, as long as it brings you pleasure. I mean, there are probability curve, and there are going to be settings and subjects that really you may want to keep to yourself, because if your greater society finds out about that sort of thing, it may be illegal. So there are some subjects maybe you shouldn't be engaged in, but it is fun and I've enjoyed working on it. Especially I was talking with my therapist. I can't remember if I said this part exactly, but one of the One of the problems that the cryptids have is that they are not in charge of their own destinies. They are shackled to the human race. And part of that is they have not developed according to natural selection and natural forces and evolutionary pressures and resource competition. They have changed throughout their history and ours through pressures of what we're going through. They are forced to be funhouse mirror reflections of our fears and our hopes, our dreams, our nightmares, our best, our worst. And so the way the cryptids act, dark, light, and shadowed, which is just positive, negative, and neutral, they are largely forced into patterns of behavior. It's all still genetic, so your mileage may vary on how hard or how soft you go into it as a cryptid, but they are reflections of all of these things. As times change and people stop fearing things, species of cryptids die out and vanish. We're not afraid of them anymore. They're reflections of us. Those cryptids go away. As we develop new fears and new hopes, new dreams, new cryptids come into being. For hundreds of thousands of years, light cryptids did not eat human beings. Again, your mileage may vary. You may have some that had eaten human beings for whatever reason. There's always accidents, there's always need for survival, but it never became a common thing. It wasn't something that anyone was known for. If it's like 0.5%, you could safely just say, yeah, nobody does it. But with Polly, her mother Clausy, concentrating on her, her grandparents for hundreds of thousands of years had followed their nature and had never tried to eat human beings. They are plant-based cryptids, flower types, which just means plants bloom and grow hardier and faster and more around this type of cryptid. They're not plants. Plants have a strong affinity with them. So they were light plant cryptids, and they did not eat people. Clausy's parents, when they were about 20 years old, when they first met, they killed and ate somebody. Clausy, Polly's mother, ate 5 people before she met her partner, and over the last 20 years has eaten another 14. She's planning on eating maybe another 5 or 10 during the course of her lifespan. Polly, being one of a very small percentage, thankfully, of light cryptids, she is hungry. She, like most light cryptids, does not have to consume human flesh to survive. They are a reflection of our fears. We have werewolf fears. There are werewolf cryptids that have to feed on people, such like that. Light cryptids don't have to, except in very small, minor cases. But Polly, well, Clausy is going to eat about 35, 40 people throughout her entire lifetime. Polly, with ADHD in my brain, I always get the names and little details like that mixed up as I'm talking. Polly has already eaten, will eat as many people in a year as Clausy ate and is going to eat all her life. Now again, she is just one of the extreme percentages. Most light cryptids will eat about 50 people through their lifetimes. They are a reflection of our fears. And if you say, well, what would make that happen? Take a look at the world around us right now. When I was younger, pre-2000, people generally looked to the future and the country. There's trepidation, there were worries, but it was with hope. And now it's 2022. I don't see a lot of people hopeful. There's a lot of fears and worries about climate change. There are a lot of fears and worries about privacy and what's going on the tech front. There are fears and worries about billionaires. There are so many fears with so many people who are convinced we're not even going to survive as a species the next 20 years. What sort of cryptids do you think this is going to influence? Yeah, there's something changing in our world, which is forcing a change on the cryptids. So now the light cryptids are eating way more people than the dark. Just a reflection of us in a funhouse mirror. So that's been fun working all that out, because there's huge sociological and cultural changes. Another one of the changes, I've probably mentioned this before as well, is Polly and her generation, they do hang out with human beings. And they want what human beings have, but they aren't talking about just our lives. Polly, trying to explain this, would say, something along the lines of, and I'm just going to do this quickly, not as a full she's talking, but as a mix of both things. When she's saying, if she goes out with human friends, once a month, she and her human friends will gather up about 10 of them, and they'll go to a movie. And then afterward, they'll go to a fast food joint, and they'll eat chicken nuggets and french fries, and they'll drink sodas, and they'll laugh and talk about the movie, and they'll bond, and they'll have fun. And Polly wants what they have. and she doesn't want to be human, and she's not really talking about stuff like phones. There's concepts they don't even have words for. The way she describes it is, when she goes out with these friends, in 50 years, 1 or 2 of them may still be lifelong friends. 4 of them may be friends that they stay in contact on the phone semi-regularly. And another 4 of them, these are people that you think of, you check online, you see they're doing okay, you may give them a call, send them a postcard, and or email, or a text or whatever, for modern times. But that happens with 10 people. There's all that. And Polly was 12 years old the first time her best friend was eaten alive and screaming right in front of her. She and this 12-year-old cryptid girl had been doing 12-year-old things on a park bench, near the main street in Brookerton, South Carolina. And they weren't paying too much attention because, hey, they're 12 years old. And as they're talking, they don't notice that a cryptid walks up and grabs Polly's friend and starts taking softball-sized bites out of her. Sure, she's fighting and screaming, but when someone's taking baseball-sized chunks of meat out of your body every couple seconds, you don't have a whole lot of blood or air or energy to scream for very long. And after a few more bites, you don't really have enough blood or air to even live. And it isn't too much longer after that Polly's friend that she was just laughing with, 2 minutes ago, is just a single bloody chunk of meat about the size of a fist, and with 2 chews and a swallow, even that's gone. Her friend, gone. No physical evidence to show that she had ever existed except for some blood spatters and the gore on the front of the cryptid that just ate her, who just leers at Polly possessively and walks away. And the thing that really rubs it in with Polly is there's about 20 cryptids on the street. Not a single one of them said, "Hey," or got up to help, or even turned their heads to look. You don't notice normal when normal is happening. If it's cold and people are wearing coats, you only notice when normal is missing. If it's cold and someone walks by without a coat, that sticks in your head. You turn to look. What's wrong with that person? Nobody looked, because eating a 12-year-old kid as they are kicking and screaming is normal. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. And if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well. Let me call up my Chrome. We have Adrian_FNTES, which I would say is probably Adrian Fuentes, but thank you very, very much. Jesse Koskinen, greatly appreciated, and always good to see you in the comments, my friend. Thank you. We have the Horror Files, no mercy for the Specussy. We have Ice Damon, good to see you in the comments. Thank you. There's Black Magic Productions, thumbs up, and thank you. Stephen Blanchard, I will keep playing, absolutely, and good to see you in the comments as well. JAYY, I can't remember. I've got several types of the. I'm having troubles doing this one. The whole hearts, moons, stars, and clovers. There's several types of Irish accents that you can do. This one's the more stereotypical one that most people don't talk in exactly. I used to be able to do a really good Dublin accent, but one of the many that's in a place like Dublin. But we have Sebastian Ferris. Hey, it's good to see you back, and hopefully you had fun, and hopefully you'll be able to reintegrate quite well. We have Loco5, thumbs up, and thank you. And goodness gracious, the brutality mod adds beef to those sound effects. Hokey smokes. We have Justin Gurley. I hope that things go well for you. Definitely would be a good thing. And then we have SAECHAO boy, BOI, thumbs up. There is Josh Sanabria. Hello, good to see you. There is Craig Ball. Good to see you as well. And on Facebook too. We have Charcolo, CHARCOL. Oh my god, I can't even see. EW, Charkaloo? Hopefully. Zenon Seth, thumbs up, and good to see you. We have Insignificant Nick, thumbs up, good to see you in the comments. Lulani, thumbs up, and hopefully you enjoy if you continue watching. Ben B, thumbs up, and good to see you as well. And that is actually it. 18 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thank you so much. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and that is appreciated. If only in text, and if only for a very short time. Thumbs up, thank you. And of course, if you have watched this far, thank you so very much. It is greatly appreciated. According to YouTube analytics for everybody, not even just me, people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and all that, with their millions upon millions of viewers, most people, 90% of all viewership drops off after 3 minutes. Sometimes just 1 minute for me. So if you're one of those that watches the whole thing, thank you so very, very much. If you can get done the things that you need to get done today, please do so, but don't feel bad if you can't. Don't beat yourself up, go into survival mode and try again tomorrow. And of course, with the pandemics a-raging and diseases being horrific out there, please just be safe, be smart, take appropriate precautions for your situation and location. You don't need to get sick, you don't need to make others sick, you don't need to suffer the long effects after you're sick, you don't need to toss your own body or anybody else's body onto the end-of-life corpse pile before it's time. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.